You do the intro. You do the intro.
No. Let's see if we get through.
You do it once and I'll do it once.
Okay, then I do the camera.
Oh no, let's have another camera.
Welcome to Tasty Tuesday.
Yay!
It's your turn.
1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Tasty Tuesday.
Yeah!
You didn't say anything.
Well, I wanted them to hear you. Today we're making bird safe and birdie approved chips and fries. There's gonna be a lot of variety to this recipe and what you can do with it. It's gonna be so much fun, and I'm going to share a very special twist we're making on the recipe today for you to discover what your bird's taste buds are really into. You started.
Tasty Tuesday. So we'll be needing these bowls. This, I have no idea what that is. This, what are these? Cucumber. This, and these. I don't know what most of these are. We're gonna cut open this. We have no idea what this is. The zucchinis look like this.
So the first thing you're gonna do is preheat the oven to 450 degrees, and then you're gonna go ahead and get all your ingredients. So our oven is preheating. We also got a cookie sheet lined with tin foil with a light spray of ham. Now it's time for your ingredients. See, that's a zucchini.
Cucumber. What's this?
This is a cucumber.
Parsnip?
Good job, it is a parsnip.
Brussels sprout?
Beet.
Onion?
No, it's not an onion. It's a turnip.
What's a turnip?
This.
Potato?
Per this recipe calls for you to use white potato, sweet potato, carrots, turnips, zucchini. We have included parsnips today because we had one and I thought that would be really cool, and I love parsnips. We're also including beets in ours because we had 2 left over from one of the other recipes, and I want to use them and I want to show you guys some fun variations. We're going to use all of this today. Disclaimer, the thinner you cut these, the faster they will bake. We're going to make a variety of chips and fries. What differentiates the chips from the fries is how you cut them. The cool thing about this recipe is it's a foot food. So birds can actually pick these up and hold them in their feet. You can cook them until they're really crunchy, which might appeal to a lot of parrots, or you can cook them where they're just barely crunchy and still soft on the inside. The cool twist we're gonna put on this recipe is that when we are baking them, we are gonna sprinkle them each a little bit differently with some different herbs. Definitely leave some plain if your bird has never had these before. That way it understands that these are awesome. However, if your bird has had these, or you know that your bird likes these foods in these textured ways, you can do the spice. Ooh, our oven is already ready. You can do the spice test. And what I mean is we're going to create all of these as little spice taste testers. So you can sprinkle different spices on different ones and see which ones your bird likes the most. So we're probably going to play with cayenne pepper today as one of our experiments.
Wait, you mean the actual pepper?
Yeah. Cayenne pepper, the red one. And we're going to see what herbs we have around here that are bird safe that we can use and see which ones our birds really prefer. This bird prefers carrots.
I'm not a bird. Baby coo, baby coo, baby coo.
So I realize I don't usually say like, hey, wash your produce, but wash your produce. I was assuming you guys were all doing it, so.
I didn't.
Once your produce is ready to be worked with, all you have to do is simply cut it up in all different shapes and sizes and do what you want. The cool thing about this too is you don't have to make them perfectly circular and round. You don't have to make them into chips. This is just making variety. But you can, I talk with my hands. You could actually cut these into fun shapes. You could do whatever you want, really, to be honest, to just make it fun and add lots of variety to this recipe. So the first thing we chopped up is our zucchini. And I made both chips via circles. I made some fries. I was thinking I was as culinary adventurous as my mother. She has like a whole spice cabinet. I do not. I found dill and I found cayenne pepper.
DETKA. You did not warn me that these were harder.
Still going. Oh, those are harder, by the way.
Hi.
So this recipe was inspired by so many people coming to us saying, hey, my bird will only eat French fries and potato chips. We wanted to convince those people that there was a healthier version out there to convert their bird over to. For some of you, this might just look like a healthy snack. For others, you might actually have that problem of, hey, my bird gets French fries when I eat them, or it gets potato chips when I eat them. It's really important to convert your bird onto a parrot-safe version of that to just be healthier. Please consider not giving your bird people food or junk foods. Just don't introduce them. It's so much easier to just never introduce your bird to people foods than to try to break the bad habit.
Like ice cream?
Yeah.
And popsicles, and candy.
A lot of the recipes in our cookbook are meant for those people that are feeding people foods to their birds and trying to get them off of those. But for us, it's just a healthy snack for our bird given in a different temperature and texture to create some fun and diversity in their diet.
Okay, did anyone see our bird is the top? I'm talking about you too, Mom.
Another fun variation you can do with this recipe, add some color. So if you have a lot of beets, you can do what we taught you before with blending them into a blender with some water to make more of a beet juice. And then you can use that juice to dye the color of your parsnips or of your turnips or your carrots, and you can make some more color variations that might be more attractive to your bird.
Now you just said water and like so spicy. Mom, what do you think of these?
Oh, I like it.
They're all in different shapes.
Another thing is please make sure that these are at least room temperature when you serve them. We want them to be cooled down. We don't want to serve anything hot. That will burn our birds' mouths. So please make sure that they have time to cool at least to room temperature.
Well,
I like doing these with you.
I'm putting right here.
Because you're the best.
I'm putting right here so it looks like a slice of weird pizza.
Okay. If this is your bird's first time again for having these sorts of things, you might want to just do all of them plain and skip the herb and spices addition this time around just to get your bird to even like these. Or if you know that there's an herb that your bird is just crazy for, it might help entice them to try these. Another thing you can do is powder up our pellets and sprinkle them on top. That is a great way to introduce your bird to pellets, convert a picky eater over.
That's kind of what I want to do.
Or get them to try the pellets as well.
Wait, what's pellets? But anyway,
we totally forgot about our carrots. So originally with this recipe, we did this with the big old carrots you can buy. We did not have any of those at our house because Capri likes baby carrots with her lunches. So we are gonna make little mini,
I'm guessing these are so hard.
little mini fries, spears, and they're really cute. They're actually the perfect size, I would say. Did you just cut yourself?
It doesn't actually cut through my skin, but
because it's a butter knife. Yeah, so using these baby carrots is actually kind of perfect. We didn't use these before. You're freaking me out. But they're the perfect size. And these would be very easy to dye pink with some beet juice. So feel free to dye them. Sure.
Can you cut this? Right here, Mom.
Who should we have taste test this recipe? Bondi, always Bondi. She's like the least interested in all the recipes and you always want her to taste test.
Tigers?
How full is your mouth? So as fun as it is to add the spices and herbs ahead of time and sprinkle it on, it's actually a better thing to do when they come out of the oven and are cooling down. So when you take them out, go ahead and sprinkle certain ones with certain herbs that you want to try and use. And don't do it ahead of time. You can do it ahead of time like you saw us do, but it really cooks into that ingredient, and so it can be a little bit overwhelming for your bird, and I think it just goes off a little bit better if it's sprinkled after the fact. But when you're doing it with a 5-year-old and you want to keep them entertained, you let them do it ahead of time. You're not 6.
I'm kidding. I'm 16.
She'll be 6 by the time you guys see this video, though. Do as I say and not as I do. You will want yours spread out really nicely. I let Capri arrange this. Okay, so our chips and our fries are done. They cooked, I took them in and out. Some were done before others, so I took the really small pieces off and then I would put stuff back in. I would say about 15 minutes checking on them. However, we made kind of thick stuff and we put a lot on the plate. What? Okay, so these are the survivors. It's obviously not as big of a plate because of how we did things. Keep in mind that beets hold on to a lot more moisture than the other veggies on here. The beets kind of remain soft and pliable. As you can see, I can bend this. And they do sort of like come up on the sides as far as baking goes. You can kind of see that it's kind of a crunchy outer, but it's pliable, so you can bend it. So the beets are least like the chip and French fry texture, unless you like soft chips or soft French fries like I do. The ones that did the best were actually the parsnips. So, and that's because I think Capri cut them so tiny. So as you can see, the parsnip is like half crispy, half not.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, you can break off the crispy part, but also it's not gonna hurt anything. So if your bird wants to just kind of mess with that, it can. But ideally you want less crisp. So you want a little bit more like this. Where it's crispy, you can see, but the half of it's not burned because the other half isn't there. As the ends kind of start to crisp is when you want to pull these off. So the beet juice got on a lot of ours and dyed them pink. This is one of Capri's tiny ones. But these are a great size for budgies, right? So definitely keep these in mind for budgies. This is what Capri made. This is like the half moon to show you a difference, and our beet juice went everywhere, as you can tell. We weren't even trying to dye everything, it just happened. Do you want to guess which ones the birds are gonna like the best? Do you think there's a certain shape they're gonna like, or a certain color?
I'll guess one, then you guess one, then they guess one.
Okay.
I think they might like the beetroots, but I think they'll mostly like the squishy stuff with the orange.
I will say, our birds, and this is why I make such a big deal when I go crunchy, our birds like mushy stuff. They're more prone to eat the mushy stuff like Capri's saying, but I get a lot of comments from people who say that their birds like crunchy textures. So I try really hard to make crunchy texture stuff, but sometimes I naturally go for the mushy because I know it's gonna be a hit with my birds. Definitely let us know in the comments what kind of recipe you wanna see next, especially if you have our cookbook series. Go through there and tell me which recipe you wanna see us make.
In the other video, you might have seen me wear these, but I'm just gonna wear them again.
Woo! Capri! Stop! No, down. You just scared the absolute crap out of all of us. Oh my gosh. Who does that? Were you trying to scare us that bad? It's okay, baby. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, Capri. I know you're trying to be funny. I know you're trying to be funny. We're all okay. I just didn't want Diesel to get excited and snatch a bird. Okay? Who wants to try some? Crunchy or soft?
Which one do you guess, Mom?